That device sitting in your carry-on right now could get you pulled out of line today. The rules around electronics and air travel have been quietly tightening for years. New CT scanners, stricter FAA battery guidelines, updated airline-specific policies. The gap between what travelers assume is fine and what actually gets confiscated has never been wider. Whether you're flying domestic or international, these 10 devices are now causing real problems at real checkpoints in 2026. Some will surprise you. One of them will genuinely shock you. Stay with us, because the last one on this list is the most common item confiscated at U.S. airports right now, and almost nobody knows why. Number 10, hoverboards and self-balancing scooters. This one's been banned for years, and travelers still keep trying. Hoverboards have been prohibited on commercial flights since 2016, but in 2026, TSA checkpoints are still pulling them out of checked bags with remarkable regularity. Why? Because the batteries inside self-balancing boards are the problem, not the boards themselves. Hoverboards use high-capacity lithium-ion battery packs that typically exceed 160 watt-hours, the hard ceiling above which no passenger aircraft will accept a lithium battery under any circumstances, in any bag, in any location on the plane. The FAA's pack-safe rules are unambiguous. Lithium batteries over 160 watt-hours are completely prohibited from both carry-on and checked baggage on passenger aircraft. No exceptions, no workarounds. The battery that powers a standard hoverboard sits anywhere from 180 watt-hours to well over 300 watt-hours, depending on the model. That means the device cannot legally fly at all, not in your bag under the seat, not in the overhead bin, not in the cargo hold. What most people don't realize is that TSA doesn't just confiscate the hoverboard at the checkpoint. If it's found during checked baggage screening, which now uses high-resolution CT scanning at most major U.S. airports, it gets pulled before your bag even makes it to the belt. You may not find out until you reach your destination and open your suitcase to find a confiscation notice and an empty space where your board used to be. The same prohibition extends to electric scooters with non-removable battery packs. If the battery can't be removed and falls above the watt-hour limit, the entire device is gone. But here's the twist. Number 9 on this list is something people are buying specifically to make travel easier, and it's getting confiscated for almost the exact same reason. Number 9, smart luggage with non-removable batteries. The carry-on designed for frequent flyers has a fatal flaw. Smart luggage, bags with built-in GPS tracking, USB charging ports, digital locks, and integrated power banks became one of the fastest-growing travel product categories in the early 2020s. The problem is that the lithium battery powering all those features created an immediate conflict with FAA and airline regulations. Most major U.S. carriers, including American, Delta, and United, have banned smart luggage with non-removable batteries since 2018. In 2026, that ban is being enforced harder than ever because new CT scanning technology at checkpoints can identify battery cells inside luggage with far greater precision than older X-ray systems. The rule is simple in theory. If the battery is removable, you can check the bag and carry the battery separately in your carry-on. If the battery is not removable, meaning it's soldered or hardwired into the bag's frame, the entire bag is prohibited from the aircraft, not just from checked luggage, from the flight entirely. And this is where it gets crazy. Travelers are showing up at gates with premium smart bags that cost $400, $500, even $700, only to be told they cannot board with the bag. Gate agents are not required to hold the bag for retrieval. At some airports, the bag goes to a holding facility and you pay a storage fee to collect it later. At others, it's simply left behind. The fix is straightforward if you already own smart luggage. Verify that the battery is removable before your next trip. If it is, remove it, put it in your carry-on and check the bag normally. If it isn't, don't bring it to the airport at all. Number 8 on this list is a device millions of people use every single day. And a very specific version of it is now being pulled at checkpoints with zero warning. Number 8, vape pens and e-cigarettes in checked baggage. Vapes are technically allowed on planes, just not where most people pack them. Here's where a lot of travelers get tripped up. Vape pens, e-cigarettes, and disposable vapes are not outright banned from flights in the United States. TSA and FAA allow them, but only in carry-on baggage or on your person. The moment a vape device ends up in a checked bag, it becomes a confiscation. Not a maybe, not a sometimes, every single time if it's detected. The reason is entirely about the lithium-ion battery inside. Every vape device, from the cheapest disposable to a high-end mod, contains a rechargeable or non-rechargeable lithium cell. FAA regulations prohibit those batteries from traveling in the car's cargo hold because of thermal runaway risk, the same reason laptops and power banks are carry-on only. A lithium battery fire in a pressurized cargo hold is a category of emergency that aviation safety authorities consider catastrophic, and the FAA has been tightening enforcement steadily since 2016. Additionally, some international destinations, Australia, Thailand, India, Singapore, have laws that prohibit vape devices at the destination level, meaning even a correctly packed carry-on device may be confiscated by customs agents on arrival. But it doesn't end here. Number 7 involves a device that's gained massive popularity in the last 3 years, and almost nobody traveling with it understands the rules. Number 7, consumer drones and their batteries. You can bring a drone on a plane, but almost nobody packs it correctly. Drones are permitted on commercial flights in the United States. TSA does not prohibit the drone body from either carry-on or checked baggage. But the batteries, and this is the part that causes constant problems at checkpoints, must follow the same lithium battery rules that apply to everything else. Spare drone batteries must travel in carry-on baggage only, with terminal contacts protected from short circuits, and must comply with the 100 watt-hours per battery limit that most airlines enforce without exception. Here's where travelers consistently make mistakes. Many popular consumer drones, particularly older DJI models in the Phantom and Inspire lines, use batteries that exceed 100 watt-hours per cell. Those batteries require written airline approval in advance to carry on board, and most airlines either deny the approval or require the passenger to prove the watt-hour rating with documentation at the checkpoint. Show up without the documentation, and the battery gets pulled. The 2026 update adds another layer. Some countries have implemented customs-level drone registration requirements, meaning a drone that passed every TSA rule in the U.S. gets confiscated by border agents at the destination for lack of local registration. Japan, Morocco, and the UAE are currently the highest-risk destinations for this scenario. Research destination rules before you pack, not after you land. Number 6 is an electronic item that gets confiscated not because of what it is, but because of what state it's in when you reach the checkpoint. Number 6, dead or powered off phones and tablets. A dead battery on your phone can cost you your entire flight. This one stops people cold when they hear it for the first time. TSA security officers have the legal authority to ask you to power on any electronic device for inspection at the checkpoint. The policy is long-standing, but 2026 enforcement is more consistent than it's ever been, particularly at high-security airports and international departure gates. The TSA's own published guidelines state clearly that powerless devices will not be permitted on aboard the aircraft. The logic is sound from a security standpoint. TSA agents need to verify that a device is functional, that it is in fact a phone or tablet, and not a phone or tablet-shaped object concealing something else. If you hand an agent a device that won't turn on, they have no way to make that verification. The device gets pulled. The fix costs nothing. Charge your devices before you leave for the airport. Bring a power bank in your carry-on. If your phone dies in the security line, ask an agent if there's a charging station nearby before you reach the checkpoint. Some airports have them, but if your device is dead when it goes into the bin, be prepared for it to come back out on the other side, along with a conversation you don't want to be having when your flight board's in 40 minutes. We're at the halfway point, and the next 5 get significantly more surprising. Number 5 is something millions of travelers carry in their bags every single day. And most have no idea there's a watt-hour limit that could get it confiscated on the spot. Number 5, oversized or unlabeled power banks. The power bank in your bag might be illegal on every flight you take. Power banks and portable chargers are required to travel in carry-on baggage only. The FAA prohibition on spare lithium batteries in checked luggage applies to every power bank, regardless of size or brand, without exception. That rule is well established, and most frequent travelers know it. What they don't know is the watt-hour ceiling, and in 2026, that ceiling is being enforced with a precision that's catching people off guard at an increasing rate. TSA and FAA rules set a hard limit. Power banks under 100 watt-hours require no approval and can travel freely in carry-on bags. Power banks between 100 watt-hours and 160 watt-hours require airline approval in advance, approval that most travelers never apply for because they don't know they need it. Power banks over 160 watt-hours are prohibited on passenger aircraft entirely, in any bag, without exception. And this is where it gets crazy. As of May 2026, American Airlines has added an additional restriction capping passengers at 2 power banks per person, regardless of individual size. Carry 3 and the third one stays behind. The fix. Check your power bank's watt-hour rating before your next trip. It should be printed on the device or listed in the product specifications. If it isn't labeled, replace it with one that is, because at the checkpoint, "I don't know" is not an answer. TSA will accept. Number 4 is a device that's become standard travel gear for millions of people, and a specific version of it is now sitting in confiscation bins at airports across the country. Number 4, cordless hair tools with lithium batteries. Your travel hair straightener might be the most confiscated beauty device at airports in 2026. Cordless ice hair tools, specifically lithium-powered straighteners, curling irons, and heated styling brushes, occupy a genuinely confusing space in TSA regulations, and that confusion is costing travelers their devices at checkpoints every single day. Standard plug-in hair tools are fine. They travel in checked or carry-on bags without issue. But cordless versions powered by a lithium battery have been subject to escalating restrictions, and in 2026, the enforcement has tightened dramatically. The core rule, updated in 2025, cordless lithium hair tools are permitted in carry-on bags only, not in checked baggage, and they must have a safety cover installed over the heating element during transport. Devices found in checked bags without a safety cap are being confiscated. Devices in carry-on bags without the heating element protected are being flagged for secondary screening and, in many cases, also confiscated. What most people don't realize is that this rule catches travelers with premium devices that cost serious money. We're talking $150 cordless straighteners, $200 travel styling sets, items that people pack in their checked bags for convenience, assuming the same rules that apply to their plug-in devices apply to the cordless version. They don't. The lithium battery inside changes the classification entirely. Additionally, spare cartridges for these devices, the replaceable heating elements used in some newer modular styling tools, are no longer allowed in checked baggage at all, and are permitted in carry-on bags only with the safety cover in place. The rule is simple to follow once you know it, but millions of travelers don't know it, and TSA bins at major hubs are proving that point daily. Number 3 is the mid-video moment we've been building toward, and what you're about to hear genuinely changes how you think about traveling with a very common device. Number 3, recalled and flagged devices, including specific laptop and phone models. TSA can confiscate your laptop or phone based on its serial number alone. This is the one most travelers never see coming, and it's the entry on this list that causes the most genuine shock at checkpoints. TSA and the Consumer Product Safety Commission maintain an active database of recalled electronic devices, products that have been officially recalled due to fire or overheating risk. And TSA officers can flag a device for confiscation if its model and serial number match an active recall notice. The most famous historical example is the Samsung Galaxy Note 7, banned from all U.S. flights in 2016 after a wave of lithium battery thermal events. But the recall and confiscation protocol established by that episode didn't go away. It became a permanent framework. And in 2026, that framework applies to a broader range of products than most people realize. Certain laptop battery models, specific tablet generations, and a growing number of third-party battery-integrated accessories have all been added to active or advisory recall lists in the past 18 months. The Consumer Product Safety Commission website maintains a public recall database. The FAA PackSafe page also lists prohibited device models. Spending 5 minutes before any flight searching your device model numbers against those databases is not paranoia. It's the same kind of pre-flight check that keeps you from losing a $1,200 laptop at security. But here's the part that makes this entry sit at number 3 and not number 1. At least recall devices are devices most people don't actively expect to be carrying. Numbers 2 and 1, everyone carries those, every flight. And most people still get it wrong. Number 2, spare lithium batteries in checked baggage, any kind. This rule is printed on every airline website and still breaks more trips than anything else. The single most consistently enforced electronics rule in all of commercial aviation is also the most consistently violated. Spare lithium batteries of any kind, loose cells, power banks, camera batteries, laptop batteries, phone batteries purchased as replacement parts are prohibited in checked baggage on every U.S. commercial flight. No airline permits them. No watt-hour exception applies. They must travel in carry-on bags in the passenger cabin every single time. The word spare is the key. A battery physically installed inside a device and in use, your laptop, your phone, your camera, is generally permitted in checked luggage, though airlines prefer you keep those devices in carry-on bags as well. But the moment a battery is separate from the device it powers, it becomes a spare. A camera battery sitting in your checked bag next to your camera body is a spare. A replacement laptop battery in a padded sleeve in your suitcase is a spare. A power bank always is a spare. Every single one of those gets pulled by TSA's automated baggage screening system, which in 2026 is operating at a resolution level that identifies individual lithium cells inside a packed suitcase with high accuracy. The simple rule: any battery not physically installed in an operating device goes in your carry-on, always, without exception. Number 1 makes everything else on this list look minor because it's an item that almost everyone flying in 2026 is carrying. The rule around it is almost never communicated clearly, and the consequences of getting it wrong extend well beyond confiscation. Number 1, unlabeled, damaged, or swollen lithium batteries in any bag. Mini hook. The most confiscated electronic item at U.S. airports in 2026 isn't a weapon. It's a battery you didn't know was failing. Number 1 is not a specific device, it's a condition. And that's what makes it the most broadly impactful item on this entire list. In 2026, TSA's enhanced CT scanning systems have been specifically calibrated to identify the visual signature of a swollen, damaged, or structurally compromised lithium battery, the kind of battery that develops from age, heat exposure, being left in a hot car, being over-discharged, or simply reaching the end of its safe service life. A swollen lithium battery is not just a confiscation situation. It's a flight safety issue. A battery that has begun to swell is in the early stages of thermal runaway, the process by which a lithium cell generates heat faster than it can release it, eventually venting flammable gas and potentially igniting. On the ground, a swollen battery is an inconvenience. At 35,000 feet in a pressurized cabin, it is a serious emergency. TSA is not being overly cautious here. They are being correct. Here's the full picture. A phone with a battery that started to fail 6 months ago, a laptop that's been running hot for the past year, a camera you haven't used in 18 months. All of these are candidates for a battery that is no longer structurally sound. And in 2026, those batteries are leaving airports without their owners, far more often than any other electronic item on this list. The mechanic's version of this advice is straightforward. Lithium batteries are consumable items. They have a service life. They're not supposed to travel forever in the same device without inspection. Treating your electronics with the same maintenance mindset you'd apply to a car, checking condition, not just function, is what keeps your gear out of a confiscation bin. And ironically, it's also what keeps the aircraft around you a safer place to be. If you're traveling soon, share this video, because the people most likely to lose something at security are the ones who haven't seen it yet. Next video, we're breaking down every item TSA has confiscated in record numbers at the top 5 busiest U.S. airports in the last 12 months. Real data, real numbers, and a few results that will completely change what you put in your bag. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. We'll see you there.